Hey, what's up everybody? It's the People's Crypto. I'm back again with another video. We have some interesting new developments in the cryptocurrency space, but before we dive in, please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and please seek out a financial advisor with a background in cryptocurrencies or digital assets. Our first story is titled 40 million troy ounces Russia gold find reaffirms Bitcoin as the more scarce asset. It goes on to say the news of the discovery of approximately 40 million troy ounces of gold in Russia's Siberian region is likely to boost the profitability of the country's biggest gold producer, while adding to the supply of this scarce resource. Report says the Polyus-owned the Sukhoi law contains 540 million tons of ore, which translates to an average of 2.3 grams per ton. The reserves, which will account for a quarter of Russia's gold stocks, are likely to generate 76 billion in revenue for Polyus when using current prices. But this proves that Bitcoin is a lot more scarce than gold. Do not get me wrong. I think gold and even silver are great hedges against inflation, but Bitcoin, unfortunately, is winning this battle right now. Now, the only thing I think that would help gold is if they actually stop finding more gold and they stop finding more silver, then it would add that scarcity factor. But I'm pretty confident they're going to find more gold and more silver. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It just makes Bitcoin look a lot more scarce and more valuable, considering that it's capped at 21 million. We truly don't know how much gold is within the earth. We don't know that yet. And I don't think there's really a way for us to know that. Probably never will, but I'm pretty sure they'll continue to find more gold and silver. As this continues to happen, this will just unfortunately dwindle the whole scarcity factor of gold and silver. Don't get me wrong, gold and silver has been used as currencies for centuries, and I don't see us going back to that. I really don't. We're going digital. The World Economic Forum has made that perfectly clear that we're going to be moving into this new fourth industrial revolution, and everything is going to be Internet of Things, digital payments, cross-border payments, all of those different type of things that they want to implement. Self-driving cars, robotics. That's just where we're headed. I still believe that gold and silver are great hedges against inflation, but it seems like Bitcoin right now is winning the battle. Now, if they never find any more gold buried again within the earth, then okay, we can get back into the whole scarcity conversation. But fortunately, it seems like they're going to just keep finding gold and most likely silver as well. So the whole scarcity argument right now, gold is losing that battle. But let's take a look at the next story. It says Kanye West, Bitcoin is now the true liberation of America and humanity. It says U.S. presidential candidate Kanye West professes respect for Bitcoiners during a podcast interview with Joe Rogan. He says Bitcoiners really have a perspective on what true liberation of America and humanity will be. Now, the interview was pretty interesting, but you know, Kanye West can kind of go off on rants. I'll actually post the interview in the description below. It's just pretty interesting, but also what it really made me think, okay, if Kanye West is talking about Bitcoin, then who else is he associated with that potentially is buying Bitcoin? That makes me think of maybe his wife Kim Kardashian owns Bitcoin, maybe her mother owns Bitcoin, her sisters own Bitcoin. It just is really interesting. I'm starting to think that they all own Bitcoin. If he's talking about it, then he may be onto something. And maybe, you know, maybe Jay-Z owns Bitcoin. We don't know because none of these people come out and publicly say that they own it, but we can only assume that they probably do. And chances are they probably do, because I'm pretty sure no one who's acquired wealth wants to go back down into poverty, because let's face it, that's probably what's going to happen if Bitcoin goes to 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. Chances are a lot of celebrities will either keep their wealth or they'll lose their wealth. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, if Bitcoin does do astronomical numbers that it's supposedly projected to do. So pretty interesting. And I'm curious, I wonder how much Bitcoin does Kanye West really own? It's really interesting. But anyway, I will leave the link to that conversation he had with Joe Rogan in the description below. Let's take a look at the next story. It says the U.S. government agencies propose changes to funds transfer rules seek to broaden definition of money to include cryptocurrencies. It says the U.S. Federal Reserve Board and FinCEN are seeking feedback on their proposal to lower the threshold at which financial institutions must collect and retain information on fund transfers. In their joint notice on the rule change proposal, the two U.S. agencies want a new threshold for international transactions to be set at $250, down from the current $3,000. This is the rule for domestic transactions remains unchanged. And this is interesting that they want to add digital assets to it, but we also must remember they're going to be creating and implementing this whole central bank digital currency stuff. So it makes perfect sense that they want to change it so cryptocurrencies are, defined as money now. It just makes sense to me. It makes absolute sense. So I'm not really entirely surprised by that. Also, I did a video not too long ago with the Department of Justice releasing their report on cryptocurrencies and digital assets. So it seems like they're getting the ball rolling with this fourth industrial revolution. So these things are coming down the pipeline relatively soon, and it's going to be rolled out a lot faster than we think. One day we'll all be using central bank digital currencies, and we'll all have digital wallets on our phone. It's just going to be a thing. So this doesn't necessarily surprise me. And let's take a look at our next story. And this is from Cointelegraph. It says, market is proving Bitcoin is the ultimate safe haven, according to Anthony Pompliano. Bitcoin has zero correlation to stocks. Once more, critics were wrong to doubt its safe haven status, says the Morgan Creek Digital co-founder. Bitcoin could not be more uncorrelated with the stock market, Anthony Pompliano says, as data shows that Bitcoin is leaving macro assets behind. In a series of tweets on October 26, which was today, the Morgan Creek Digital co-founder, also known as Pomp, took critics to task over the accusations that Bitcoin was a poor store of value. Pomp on Safe Haven Bitcoin, the market is proving it. Pompliano uploaded a chart from behavior analyst platform Sentiment, which showed Bitcoin hitting zero for 30-day correlation with the S&P 500. It could not be more uncorrelated than it is right now, he added. And here's a snapshot of what he posted. And this is Bitcoin versus the S&P 500 rolling correlation chart. And that is what Anthony Pompliano tweeted earlier. It says, continuing, Pompliano highlighted Bitcoin beating macro assets returns since the coronavirus crash in March this year. It says, so how did Bitcoin do during the economic downturn? It outperformed stocks, bonds, gold, oil, and pretty much everything else. It also has a low to no correlation over any material amount of time, he summarized. Bitcoin is the ultimate safe haven, and market is proving it. But yeah, we've all come to that same conclusion. For people who still think Bitcoin is a fraud, they are completely clueless and they don't know what's going on. But it's uncorrelated to the stock market. Fidelity has also come out and said this, and many other people have come out and said the very same thing, even proving it with charts and everything. Bitcoin is completely uncorrelated. If you still are shaky about getting into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I would suggest you do your own research and really take a look at the performance of Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin is still worth more than gold right now. It's also worth more than silver. It's outperformed Apple. It's outperformed Google, it's outperformed Facebook, it's outperformed Tesla, and the list goes on and on and on. It has outperformed many stocks and many different asset classes. So just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at our next story. It says Kenya's central bank exploring CBDCs due to mushrooming of private cryptos. It says the governor of the Central Bank of Kenya told reporters the institution is already feeling left out. It says the Central Bank of Kenya, or CBK, has reportedly started discussions with international central banks to explore the possibility of entering the central bank digital currency space. The CBK governor, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, I probably murdered this guy's name. But anyway, he told reporters during Georgetown's DC FinTech Week that we, the CBK, are already having discussions with other global players in various ways around the introduction of central bank digital currencies. The push comes as a result of mushrooming of private cryptocurrencies, and we are already feeling left out and need to create our own space. From Dr. Njoroge's perspective, I probably said that guy's name wrong. But anyway, the central bank needs to keep a keen eye on the niche that private sector cryptocurrencies are vying for. The CBK governor singled out money laundering and the financing of illicit activities as a central concern for the institution. However, he seemed less convinced that the global trend is toward a truly cashless society, characterizing developments as tending to merely a cashless environment. But this is even more proof that we're all headed towards a cashless society, regardless of whatever he's saying. But the whole illicit, nefarious activities, and they're using it for illegal things. I mean, they do that for cash now, and they can't trace any of these transactions. But this goes back to what I was saying previously, that these central bank digital currencies, they'll be able to track tax and look at every single transaction you're making. There will be no place to run and no place to hide. They'll be able to take a look at everything that you're doing. Purchasing patterns. They'll look to see who you're giving money to. All of that will be under their microscope, and they'll be able to take a look at that at any particular time. If you're purchasing things they deem that's illegal or you shouldn't be buying, they can potentially freeze your digital wallet. So these are things to be of concern. And this is why I said, it might be a real smart move to get into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies now before they explode in price, because we're starting to see many corporations dive into the cryptocurrency space and purchase tons of Bitcoin. Now, they're not moving the price as of yet, but eventually, when those prices start to go parabolic, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to purchase 1 Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin or a tenth of a Bitcoin. Like, it's going to get that bad. I know right now a $13,000 or $12,000 Bitcoin seems pretty expensive, but trust me, that's nothing to what Plan B, Chamath Palihapitiya, and many others are projecting the price of Bitcoin to be in the next 3 to 5 years, and later on down the line after these halvings that's supposed to happen every 4 years. So keep that in mind. It's going to get insane. Bitcoin, in my view, is extremely undervalued. We really should have a price right now of $24,000. Bitcoin should be somewhere around that right about now, but for some strange reason, it's not. And that may be a blessing in disguise. So you still have an opportunity to stack stats. So just my investment opinion, look into doing that. Because if you don't, chances are that we're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to use central bank digital currencies, and all of your transactions are going to be monitored. Now, if you try, like I said, if you try to purchase something they deem that you're not supposed to purchase and it's illegal in whatever country you're living in or state or province, then you're going to be in trouble. You may even face jail time, or they'll freeze your wallet altogether. But anywho, let's take a look at the current cryptocurrency prices. Bitcoin right now is back at $13,000. That's not bad at all. So we're at $13,034.11. Ethereum is $392.14. Tether is $1. XRP is 25 cents. Bitcoin Cash is $258.79. Binance Coin is $31.25. Polkadot is $4.63. Chainlink is $11.83. Litecoin is $56.79. And Bitcoin SV is $174.34. And Cardano is 10 cents right now. So that'll actually round it up for the top 11 cryptocurrencies. And that is going to do it for this video. If you like this video, if you found it of value, please like, share, and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on Odyssey, hit that fire button. And also share the video. If you're listening on LBRY, please share the video as well on that platform. We're also now on BitLink. You can hit the like button and also share the video as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and I was going to say Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook. But yeah, you can follow me on those platforms. Also, if you want to make money while surfing the web, you can hit the link below and get the Brave browser. You get paid for surfing the net, which is absolutely cool, especially in the current times that we're in now. If you're looking to make some additional money, it's a pretty cool way to do it while you're surfing the web at home or even at work. Just don't let them know that you're doing that. But anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you for listening and watching, and I will see you guys and gals later.